how come you're on this boat?
Because I'm helping John and skipper delivery.
Oh, I see.
I've been in the KIP in Scotland and we're taking it to Plymouth.
Yes, we do. We're almost there.
Yeah, it's been a cool trip. The weather's been against us most of the time. Today is the first decent bit of sun.
Second, I'd say.
Well,
Come on.
This feels warmer than it was yesterday.
Yeah,
Before.
I agree.
And we had some amazing wind this morning. Cruising along at over 9 knots. Wind tide. At the moment we're doing 4.3 knots with the engine.
Yeah.
Because the wind is in my face.
It's in your face.
And I think we'll be in Plymouth in about 9 hours. Give or take.
Unless we don't sink.
Well, there's a chance. Absolutely.
There's a slight chance. You know, maybe we hit an iceberg.
Yeah.
Who knows?
One of those boats over our head.
Yeah.
Or John decides to steal the boat and just keeps on going. We jump over the side and swim way over.
I want to see that.
Maybe not. Take the tender and go.
I think the water is this warm.
Yeah.
Or cold, not sure.
Dolphins don't seem to mind it though.
No, they actually love it.
I went there with the British Antarctic Survey as a comms manager on a big research vessel, 80-odd meters, Ernest Shackleton. It's a cool boat. 35 days to get there from Uruguay.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was the comms manager, so I was in charge of all the radio stuff and all the computer stuff and all the satellite stuff, installation, maintenance, and all that stuff.
Was this fun?
Yeah, it was an awesome 2.5 years. Luckily, Halley 5, the base staff, was it's on an ice shelf.
Mm-hmm.
It's not on land. It's on an iceberg essentially attached to the main continental shelf.
Yeah.
And was there for 3 summers and 2 winters. So I saw some amazing skies. I guess halfway between, well, you wouldn't say spring, I guess, or autumn. Halfway between the summers and winters, you get these dawns and these dusks that last for hours and hours, and you just get the sun just creeps up and it just hovers above the horizon and it goes back down.
Wow.
You get these skies, purple and reds and orange.
This sounds like something I really should check out, you know?
It's awesome. And then when it was dark, which it is, it's dark for 105 days, the sun disappears for 105 days a year, and then it's obviously up for 105 days, and then in between you get these transition periods. But when it was dark, and you would see a million stars, the southern sky, you see the galactic rim, you can see the Magellanic clouds, and then obviously you see lots and lots of aurora. And that was one of my highlights, I think.
It's pretty amazing, huh?
Yeah. It was cold though, it got to -50 when I was there. Pretty chilly. But it only hits -50 not all the time, so it's kind of a tradition. If it hits -50, you take all your clothes off, except for your boots and a hat. The base naked and run back inside. And that's quite cool. But when it's -50, it's dead still, it's dead calm, but it's still cold.
How did it felt?
It felt really, it didn't feel like bad actually. I guess it just feels like when you go somewhere really hot, you think, whoa, it's quite uncomfortable. And it was like that. But when you go back inside, I remember going back inside, I could see all the veins of my legs. My legs had gone transparent or something. That was weird.
So how big is the base?
So in the winter, for my first winter, there were 18 of us, 16 guys, 2 girls, and they were all, half of the team was research staff, so physicists and climatologists and atmosphericists, you know.
Atmosphericists.
No, I don't know what they are.
People
that study the upper atmosphere.
Yeah.
And then the other half is support staff, so you have a plumber, an electrician, a chef, a doctor, a comms guy, the comms IT guy, which I was. And my second winter though, it changed because they were just building a new base, Halley 6. Because it's on an ice shelf, it's continuously flowing towards the sea. And
how is that secure?
But no, in the German base is exactly the same.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think that's on a more stable ice shelf. Whereas the burnt ice shelf, gradually, it flowed about, I think it was 2 meters a day. So eventually it just keeps on flowing towards the sea and the ends break off. So the bases eventually get out to the sea. And as I said, Halley 5, this is the 5th base. It's 1956 in this location. And they were building Halley 6, which is a completely new design. It's a building on giant skis, and it looks like it belongs on the moon. It's amazing.
Nice. Yeah, they really learned something with the 5 other bases, did they?
Yeah, well, all the different bases were totally different too. So Halley 1 was just a shed, and Halley 2 was a base built on the surface and clear out. I think Halley 3 was similar. Halley 4 was designed to be buried, so they would just let snow build up. And Halley 5 was built on legs, literally stilts. And what they do, they attach new stilts on top of the legs, and then just jack the building up every year, 2 meters every year, so it's always on top of the surface. And that's how the new German base, the new Neumayer base is based on, is that design. But this one it's a modular building system. It looks like a moon base on these giant skis. What they do, you detach the buildings and drag them somewhere else. So in 10 or 15 years time or whatever, you detach the buildings and move them to the new location.
It's actually pretty smart.
Yeah, it's revolutionary design, but massively expensive. All kinds of problems, and it was over budget, delayed and everything else, but it's up and running now. They started building that in 2008 and they commissioned it I think in 2012 or 13. I've never been to the new place, I'd love to. They do jump out of it a lot though.
By the way, this is good timing for a transition. Alright. Dean, thanks for having you on board.
Thank you to have me.
Awesome. See you later.